Reducing belly fat, we're going to look at solutions. In this video, you're going to discover the top ways to reduce belly fat. You're going to learn what works, all scientifically proven, and what doesn't, and what the fake results are, and what you have to watch out for. Actually, you'll learn a lot more than just how to reduce belly fat. You'll become more empowered and in control of your life. And it may be much simpler than you think. So how do I get rid of belly fat, and how do I get rid of it now? Number one, to start the process of getting rid of belly fat, you must get your stress under control. As you learned in that first video, that the belly fat has high amounts of cortisol receptors, and when you're stressed, that signals the body to store fat inside of you. And you have to get your insulin under control. Same as above. Insulin is a storage hormone, and it tells the body to store fat, and it also promotes belly fat. And also, you have to improve the quality and the quantity of your sleep. You see, sleep greatly affects your stress and your perception of the world. Sleep also affects your ability to control blood sugar and your insulin levels. And we know that when you don't get good sleep, you don't make the best choices. You're tired and run down, and you'll look for stimulants and so on. And you want to stimulate and work the muscles with movement and exercise, because as you learned in the first video, this helps prevent sarcopenia and it increases your metabolic rate. Now, you could try quick weight loss programs that dramatically cut your calories. However, I would warn you that we have to talk about something, and this is an important point on muscle, and we have to clarify this before we go on. Number one, where do you burn fat in your body? If that's the goal, to lose fat, to release fat and burn it, where do you burn it? And what tissue burns the majority of your calories over the course of the day? As you can probably guess, it's your muscle. And when you lose muscle, you lose the tissue that burns fat. This doesn't seem like a good idea to me. Muscle is your number one health biomarker. Number two is your strength, and number three is your basal metabolic rate, the amount of calories you burn throughout your day. That's your metabolism. If you lose muscle, you lose your health and your vitality. Your energy goes down, and your basal metabolic rate goes down as well. Another important point on muscle, when you lose muscle, you lose your top health indicators. You lose your body shape and your tone, and your metabolism slows. And oh yeah, you feel tired, weak, and fatigued as well. You lose your health and your vitality. Now, most quick weight loss programs will most likely contribute to sarcopenia. That's the technical name for the loss of muscle. Now, how is it that what appears to be so good may contribute to sarcopenia? Let's look at this. 3 critical changes happen to your metabolism if you lose weight the wrong way. Cutting calories below a certain point signals to your body lack or starvation. And remember, throughout evolution, lack of food has been a limiting factor in our survival. The first thing that happens when you cut your calories, your metabolism will literally drop to almost half within a few days to conserve energy. What does this mean to you? You'll feel tired with low energy and fatigue. Critical change number 2. Your metabolism will start to mobilize muscle as a source of fuel. Again, this is sarcopenia, and this reduces your ability to burn fat. Remember, muscle is the only real tissue that burns fat. If you lose muscle, you lose your ability to burn fat. Critical change number 3. The fat cells will become hypersensitive to calories, and you will tend to preferentially store fat once you start to eat normal amounts of food again. And this contributes to the rebound effect, Remember, the fat cells are well trained through evolution that when you don't have calories come in, the next time they see food, they're going to store it for a rainy day that may never show up in our modern society. This combination of reduced metabolism, reduced ability to burn fat, and the tendency to preferentially store more fat once you start eating normally again contribute to the 3 F's. Low energy with fatigue, fat storage, and ultimately failure. You don't get the health when you want. This sequence of events is described as the starvation mode. And here's something to think about. This is really a time for a reality check. Many weight loss programs may suggest you use diuretics. So what happens when you take diuretics for quick weight loss? Well, they'll cause you to urinate a lot. And what's interesting is toxicity contributes to a lot of fat accumulation. And the body stores toxins outside of the cell. And when it stores the toxins, it will bring in water. So there's a little saying, the solution to pollution is dilution. Your body has retained water to dilute the toxins. If you take some sort of laxative, this will ultimately increase the toxic concentration around your cells. Now, how do you think this would make you feel, increasing the toxic load on your body? Will this improve your health or decrease your health? Now, instead, what would happen if you decreased the source of toxins and maybe you detoxified? Well, the water would follow. You see, the water goes where the toxins go. If you detoxify, you lose the water and you'll lose weight that way. That's a true result, not a fake result. Something else to think about. It's a scientific fact. When you lose weight, you will lose anywhere from about 25 to 45% of your weight loss as muscle. And that's the very tissue that burns fat. This means you only burn about 75 to 55% fat. So half of your weight loss almost can be muscle. Now, here's some really great news though, because I want this to be positive and upbeat. If you exercise when you reduce your calories to lose weight, you can preserve and even gain the metabolically active tissue which burns fat. You can gain muscle, but you have to move to do it. In this example, you can see a woman who has decided to lose some weight. She can do it in a healthy way or an unhealthy way. Both times the scale says she has lost weight, and both times she looks good. What's the difference? When she loses weight in a healthy way, you can see she preserves this red tissue. This red tissue is her muscle. The yellow tissue is the fat tissue, and she has lost fat. Preserves muscle, loses fat. Very healthy. And she's going to feel great and look good. However, on the other side, when she loses weight in an unhealthy way, you'll notice she lost the red tissue. She lost muscle, sarcopenia. And she's actually gained the yellow tissue. That's her fat. So she's lost muscle, gained fat. This is called sarcopenic obesity, and it's very unhealthy, and it's related to cardiovascular disease and so on. Now, what is rebound weight gain? Once you resume normal eating, you will preferentially store fat. We learned that because the fat cells are hypersensitive to caloric intake and calories. If you eat the same, they'll store more as fat. You've lost muscle, so your metabolic rate and the amount of calories you need throughout the day, it's reduced as well. If you eat the same amount, you will gain fat. And the worst part, you tend to gain the weight back, the fat, as fat, and you gain it back even faster. And by the way, you're now one step closer to being a type 2 diabetic. Now, what is yo-yo dieting, and what is this lack? When you try and lose weight again in the same manner as before, that is, through calorie restriction, this cycle will repeat itself, except now you've taught your body to conserve calories because throughout evolution, the body has seen this type of environmental stimulus, low caloric, low food intake. The body is an amazing, amazing unit, and it becomes very good at conserving calories. You've taught your body to conserve, not expend energy. That's what lack is. With lack of food coming in, your body will store calories. You have to teach your body that there's abundance. And how do you do that? We'll look at that in just a few minutes. What are the lifestyle factors connected to belly fat? Well, one, let's remove and reduce the stimulus which tells the body to store belly fat. Stress, we've looked at that, and we know belly fat has a high concentration of cortisol receptors. We looked at sleep, and we found that when you don't sleep properly, that increases the stress hormones and it increases insulin. Again, insulin is a storage hormone, and it contributes and promotes belly fat. And by the way, if you can't control your blood sugar, that affects your sleep. If you can't sleep right, that affects your insulin. These three major lifestyle components work off each other to actually improve your health or decrease your health. And finally, a major fourth component is movement and exercise. And you have almost total control over these lifestyle factors, so control them. So, let's look at some of the key strategies for reducing stress and stress reduction. We'll start with number one by balancing your physiology. And this is great news because many of the strategies and the techniques which work to balance your blood sugar and reduce insulin also work to reduce stress and cortisol as well. They improve your sleep. Great news. So one, eat breakfast with protein. And don't skip meals. Eat every 3 to 4 hours. Remember, you may have learned that your cortisol levels are highest first thing in the morning, and to bring them down, eat breakfast with protein to prevent the loss of muscle. And if you skip meals, your cortisol levels will increase again, so eat every 3 to 4 hours. So eat small meals frequently. And something easy to remember, graze, don't gorge. And eat most of your food early in the day and less at night. Most people in North America eat like an upside down triangle. They have a light breakfast, if any, a bit bigger lunch, a bigger snack, they have a big dinner, and then they eat all the way to bedtime. That's upside down. That's wrong. That teaches your body to store fat. You want it the other way around. You want a normal triangle with a large solid base. That's your breakfast. And throughout the day, you eat smaller, lighter meals. Well, that's it for this video. Go watch part 3 now, where you'll learn more strategies and techniques to lose belly fat, to lose body fat, and this will allow you a life full of energy and vitality. Go watch part 3 now. More